Hi, it's Edward, back with another video. Please take a moment to click the thumbs up button below and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your support. Today, I read an interesting article on Yahoo Autos, put out by the AutoWire and written by Stephen Symes, titled, "Car Repos Are Soaring to 2009 Levels." My friends, that title immediately caught my attention. 2009 was during the GFC. Those were some dark times financially here in our country and around the world. So what is going on? Well, according to the author, in 2024, a total of 1.73 million cars were repossessed. This is according to Cox Automotive data. That marked a 16% increase versus the total in 2023 and a 43% increase compared to 2022. To make matters worse, the author said there has been a 656% increase in subprime borrowers who are at least 60 days late on their vehicle loans. Did you hear that? 656% increase. That is crazy. My friends, I hate to hear about all of this. This is truly unfortunate, and it is not good news. My heart goes out to these Americans who are struggling financially. When you no longer have a vehicle, life can get really difficult. Unfortunately, in some parts of the country, there is not good public transportation. It's not like there's a bus line in some suburban areas or some small towns. If you don't have a vehicle, how do you get to and from work? Unless you're able to get a ride from a coworker. But what happens if that coworker oversleeps and then picks you up late? Now you're both late to work and the boss is upset with both of you. So you're putting your job at risk when you depend on someone else to pick you up on time. Not a good situation to be in. Right now here in America, there are a lot of people who have not been able to keep pace with the rising cost of life. Everything continues to get more expensive. People trade hours of their life at a job for money. Unfortunately, the money they bring home in their paycheck is often not enough to cover all of their bills. Some rely on credit in order to survive. Well, some people are still not able to make it financially, so they have to make some difficult decisions. Do they continue making their rent payment, or do they continue making their vehicle payment? Humans need shelter, so some are choosing to no longer make the vehicle payment. Here's what happens when you stop making your vehicle payment. Eventually, the vehicle gets repossessed and your credit gets trashed. Life becomes more difficult if you depend on credit and you have a low credit score. You may have a more difficult time renting an apartment in the future. If you live in a state where insurance carriers can adjust premiums based on your credit score, this could make it more expensive to get insurance. Not all states allow this, but there are plenty of states that do allow it. And if you get your really nice vehicle repossessed and you're fortunate enough to be able to get another vehicle at one of those buy here, pay here car lots, well, you're going to pay a really high level of interest on that loan. You're probably going to really overpay for the vehicle. And then if you live in a state where insurance carriers can adjust your premium based on your credit score, you're going to pay more for vehicle insurance on that used car. It is not a good situation to be in. I think folks who are faced with these difficult decisions may want to consider an alternative other than letting the vehicle get repossessed. Some may have to consider getting a second job or a third job in order to fulfill their financial obligation to the bank. From my perspective, it would be better to continue making that vehicle payment and try to dig yourself out of debt. I have to wonder how all of these repossessions are going to impact financial institutions. Have you ever heard of auto ABS? What that means is auto asset-backed securities. Many of you likely remember mortgage-backed securities, or MBS. We heard about that on the news during the GFC, and we know how that all ended up. A lot of financial institutions struggled, some failed. They had a government bailout. Let's hope this whole auto situation never reaches those extremes. Now, there are probably some Americans who think they can hide from the repo man. They love their fancy, newer vehicle and they want to continue driving it, so they think perhaps they can park it somewhere else. Well, a lot of these modern vehicles have a lot of technology. It is becoming easier for the repo man to find your vehicle and tow it away. Now, I worry about the safety of these repo men. I have seen a lot of news articles about repo men that have been assaulted. If I were doing that job, I would want to wear body armor. A lot of these folks are putting their lives at risk when they repossess someone's vehicle. You never know if someone is armed with a gun or a knife or some other type of weapon. Some people get really angry when their vehicle is being towed away. I'm sure some of you have seen these types of interactions on television shows like Cops, and it's often not pretty. Even if you're not physically assaulted at work as a repo man, I'm sure you are still subjected to all types of aggressive behavior and foul language. I can imagine you're not in a pleasant mood when you come home from work. That has to be an incredibly hard job. I'm not trying to play the blame game here, but I have to wonder how much the auto dealers played in this whole mess. After the pandemic, a lot of dealers were charging over MSRP for new vehicles and charging an incredible amount of money for pre-owned vehicles. Some people who needed transportation had no choice but to pay those inflated prices. And now that the cost of living in our country has gone up, some can no longer afford those vehicle payments. And many are choosing to simply let their vehicle get repossessed. Not a good situation at all, my friends. I'm curious, what do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.